O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News for Monday, July 22nd, 2024. Stand up for your country. Well, we got tons of new stuff to tell you about. Unlike most of the other news agencies, we are now looking ahead because of the startling events of the past 9 days, which are, I can't remember in my career having so many important events, historical events, come at you so fast. But we're on it. Now, I hope you watched our special last night, Sunday night. It is posted on BillO'Reilly.com right now under the message unit. You'll see it. All you do is click. Because then we told you why everything happened. And as you know, I was the first national commentator to predict Joe Biden would not be on the ballot. That was almost a year ago, and we backed that up, of course. And we had a lot of interesting reaction to what we said. None of it negative, because everything I said was true. And I'm going to deal with that a little bit later in the broadcast, but it is something you might want to watch. Okay, it's an important special that we did. Also, my Sunday column, posted 7 hours before President Biden's announcement, basically says that he's going to quit. Now, am I Miss Cleo? Am I psychic? Am I Karnak the Magnificent for you Johnny Carson fans? I'm not. But I'm going to tell you exactly how I knew what would happen in this broadcast tonight. And finally, we're all living in a very historic time. And I hope everybody understands that. You should tell your children, grandchildren, pay attention. Because this stuff is really going fast. And we're living through it, obviously. Talking Points Memo is about Vice President Harris, who now becomes a major historical player. Okay. So it's Kamala with a K, all right? Don't make that mistake. Don't mispronounce her word, her name. Don't do that. Kamala with a K. She'll be Donald Trump's opponent. All this BS you hear on TV about open convention and all, it's all a bunch of nonsense. Not happening. And the only reason the commentators do that is because they're A, not smart enough to know what's happening, and B, they have to fill time. They don't know how to fill the time on the air. But that's not happening. The convention will be in Chicago in the third week in August. Kamala will go. The delegates will pledge to her because President Biden endorsed her. And Nancy Pelosi came out today. As of airtime that I'm speaking to you, President Obama has not endorsed Kamala Harris, but he will. And he's just where he wants something. I don't know what it is. I have no clue what it is. But usually in exchange for an endorsement, a political candidate gives something. So Obama probably wants a favor or two. That's just, I'm guessing that. I don't have that on authority. So Kamala Harris is 59 years old. All right. She served 4 years in the Senate. She was involved with 164 pieces of legislation in those 4 years. None of them passed. So essentially, Kamala Harris did nothing in the Senate for 4 years, despite being a senator from the most powerful and populated state in the union. That's a dubious record, to be sure. But remember, Barack Obama had a dubious record in the Senate as well. Okay? But Kamala Harris essentially did nothing in the Senate. Okay. Joe Biden dropped out Sunday, 1:46 Eastern Time. Kamala Harris already had her statement written. Okay? We go over that in yesterday's special. Almost immediately, the Soros boys, George Soros and his son Alex, shot out that they are endorsing Kamala Harris. That was the signal to the progressive left in America. You get on board. Why? Because Kamala Harris is far more progressive than Joe Biden. Biden has no core belief system. None. Puts his finger up to the wind. Whatever is going to give him more power, that's what he does. Always done it. If you trace his Senate record back, he's changed his opinion on everything for power. Kamala Harris is a true believer. Now, she waffles around, and she did as Attorney General in California, certainly. But now that she's almost 60 years old, she's progressive to would be, if elected, the most progressive president by far in this country. And the whole country changed. Boom. Unfortunately, most voters don't know that, and the media doesn't care. The media actually wants a progressive change. All right. So 146, Biden packs it in. The Soros boys come up, and this is a statement they released. Quote, it's time for all of us united around Kamala Harris, beat Donald Trump. She is the best and most qualified candidate we have. Long live the American dream, unquote. Okay, swell. That's fine. There's Alexander and Kamala, they're buddies, and that is important. Okay? Now, everybody's going to fall in line behind Kamala Harris. Nobody's going to primary her at the convention because that would be death. If you're a Democrat and you did that, you challenged her, you're done forever in that party. So Joe Manchin, who bailed from the Democrat Party, oh yeah, I might go back and then challenge him. Not going to happen. Okay, Joe doesn't have any money. He's not going to do it. Get some publicity. Joe likes publicity, Joe Manchin. Okay? And Obama will endorse Kamala Harris when he gets whatever he wants, which he will. Okay, she needs him. So immediately after the Soros boys and the other Democrats got behind the vice president, you had the TV people. So I'm going to run two sound bites. One is from Adam Schiff, you know him, and one is from Whoopi Goldberg. Go.
I am very excited to throw my full support behind the vice president. I've seen her work as a prosecutor, as an attorney general, as a senator, as vice president. I'm very excited to work with her as president.
The president has endorsed Vice President Harris to take over the nomination, and she's already raised about $50 million since yesterday. You know, and I anticipate that every Democrat who was kvetching is going to stand behind her. I am trusting that we're not going to have a problem here because this is what everybody said they wanted to happen. Mr. Manchin.
Yeah.
Don't even think about it.
Sit down. Take a seat.
Sit down. We don't want you.
No.
We don't want you.
Who's we? That's ABC News running that show, as I pointed out a million times. Who's we? You got a mouse in your pocket? I mean, who? So this is an arm of the View, which is 2 million people. It's not significant, but that's an arm of the Harris campaign. And ABC News runs it, so they're fine with that. It's staggering. When I worked at ABC News, I could tell you stories, okay? Peter Jennings enforced a rigid fairness schedule there. I can't even imagine the late Mr. Jennings now at this. All right, so that's all predictable. I mean, that's no surprises there. The $50 million that the Harris campaign say they raised, that's not a true number. I checked it before airtime. It's about half that. But who's going to check? Beside me, nobody. But they'll raise a lot of money. I mean, the Trump campaign will raise an enormous amount of money, and the Harris campaign will as well. So let's take a look at Kamala Harris as a politician. Number one, she got the job as vice president because she's a DEI pick. She didn't do it on merit. And that's not a slam on her. It's not a personal attack on her. But if you don't know she was selected by Joe Biden because of her skin color and her gender, then you're not in the real world. Biden even said he was going to pick a woman of color as VP. And there was Kamala. So she got it. She didn't get it on merit. She got it on a DEI. That's just the way it is in the Democratic Party. So the southern border then became a problem for both Joe Biden and for Vice President Harris. Here's what Harris said. Go.
While we are clear that people should not come to the border now, we also understand that we will enforce the law and that we also, because we can chew gum and walk at the same time, must address the root causes that cause people to make the trek, as the president has described, to come here. And I look forward to engaging in diplomacy.
Okay, so that was March 2021, in the middle of the COVID thing. Number one, the Biden administration did not enforce the law, has not, will not. Number two, Kamala Harris is in charge of root causes, has not even issued a report. What'd she do? What are the root causes? We don't know. She didn't do anything. Zero. She went to Guatemala for a day and a half. That's it. All the money that was gone into Kamala Harris, I guess, was wasted because she didn't come up with anything. That's a deficit for Harris. The Trump campaign is smart. They'll put that front and center. Our second one was December 2nd, 2023. This is about Israel and Hamas. Go.
And we have been very clear also that, one, Israel has a right to defend itself, but we also must take into account that far too many Palestinian civilians, innocent people, have been killed, and Israel must do more to protect innocent civilians.
Well, what exactly should Israel do? Kamala Harris doesn't know. They must do more. Like what? Well, I don't know. So, Okay. Third soundbite, August 15th, 2023. This is on inflation. Go.
And Bidenomics is working. Since we took office, President Biden and I have created more than 13 million new jobs, including nearly 400,000 jobs right here in Washington State. Today, the unemployment rate is near the lowest it has been in over half a century. Inflation is down and wages are up.
Not true. Totally false, except for one. She said one true thing. That soundbite runs 32 seconds. She had one true thing. All right, according to the House Budget Committee, which studies all this, 72% of new jobs since 2021, that's Biden coming into office, were not created. They came back from COVID. 72%. Now, Kamala says that President Biden and I have created more than 13 million new jobs. How? What did you do? Get it now. Okay. According to Investopedia, where last year in Trump's administration, inflation was 1.9%. Okay. 3.5% in Biden's administration, 5.7%. So, yeah, inflation's coming down from a record 9%, but it's still 4 points higher than it was under Trump. Kamala, oh, no. Okay. Next one. It's true that jobs were 3.4%, one of the lowest rates ever, but now they're back up to 4.1%. So joblessness is rising, but that's picayune. I'll give her that. Okay, there is good employment, but wages aren't rising. Real wages are down 2.5% under Biden. 2.5%, they're down. They were up about 7% under Trump. So that's not true. But this is what you can expect. Because the people that Kamala Harris are talking to don't care what the truth is. They believe what they want to believe. They like Kamala. So you say whatever you want, and then the corrupt media is never going to challenge her like I just did. Way too hard to do that. All right. Now, and here is really what a very troubling thing about Vice President Harris. So after George Floyd was killed, there were riots, everybody knows, tremendous destruction, death, everything else. On August 27, 2020, here's what the vice president said. Go.
People are rightfully angry and exhausted. And after the murders of Breonna and George and Ahmaud and so many others, it's no wonder people are taken to the streets. And I support them.
Yeah, I support them. And then a little while later she goes, but I don't support looting and rioting. But she supports people going into the streets. Oh, okay. But even worse, she, on June 1st, 2020, said this, quote, if you're able to, chip in now to the Minnesota Freedom Fund to help post bail for those protesting on the ground in Minnesota. Now, the only people arrested in Minnesota were violent people. They didn't invent peaceful demonstrators, right? But she calls for Americans to bail them out. Pretty extreme, right? Another advantage, and the Trump, I assume the Trump people are going to full bore on that. She is a bad campaigner. She has trouble articulating. It's like Biden. She can read the prompter, but when she gets into extemporaneous, like I'm doing right now, I don't have a teleprompter. I'm just talking to you. Okay? She gets into trouble. Roll it.
And we'll deal with what we need to deal with in terms of also as we move forward, all agreeing that we got to be smarter as a country in terms of who has access to what, and in particular assault weapons. And we got to take this stuff seriously. Seriously, if you are going to do it, of course, you have to take it seriously.
Okay. So, and we'll deal with what we need to deal with in terms of also as we move forward. You know, they call it a word salad. But the worst thing about Vice President Harris is that she's a hater. She is. And it's going to be vicious. Where do you see how vicious this is going to be? Now, Trump's no cupcake. Okay? He made a mistake, Trump. Instead of saying to Joe Biden, you did what was right for the country by resigning, which is what Trump should have done, he attacked Biden. Didn't need to do that. Biden's gone. Gone. Yes, was there corruption in keeping him in? Sure. And you can do that later. But if Donald Trump had come out and said, hey, I'm glad this is happening. It's better for the country that Joe Biden not be in charge. Okay? And that's history. And now we go on, and I'm going to defeat Kamala Harris. That's it. To roast Biden for the 8,000th time, I didn't know what that accomplished. But Harris is more vicious. In fact, she's probably the most vicious politician I have seen. Go.
This guy in the White House said neo-Nazis were fine people when they marched on Charlottesville. He's attacked communities of color and leaders of color by name. He's denigrated entire countries on the continent of Africa with foul language no president should speak. Let's speak truth here and today. This president isn't trying to make America great. He's trying to make America hate.
Let's speak truth here. Donald Trump did not call neo-Nazis fine people. That's a lie. Right? There's no way you could see or take his remarks at Charlottesville when they were talking about taking down the statues of Confederates as praising neo-Nazis. I write about that. I quote it in my book, The United States of Trump. So she's not telling the truth. Let's speak the truth here. Well, you're not doing it, madam. And then she tries to whip up the crowd to believe that Donald Trump hates black people. But she's saying that he's the hater. Trump's the hater. Yet she's using her forearm and teleprompter words to tell her black audience that Trump hates them. Pretty low. Is it not? Okay. All right, let's sum it up. It's going to be Harris against Trump, September 10th, the debate. Harris will try to bait Donald Trump into some kind of racist and gender-driven remarks. She'll do what she did to Biden in the debate in the primaries, you know, paint Trump as a racist, hoping that Trump reacts. That's what's going to happen, September 10th. Okay. In the meantime, she has to pick a VP. I believe it's going to be the Kentucky governor, Andrew Beshear. He is a Democrat in a heavily Republican state, very smart, very good campaigner. Kamala has to put a moderate Democrat white man on the ticket. Can't run another lefty, can't run another woman, can't run another person of color. It's got to put a white man who's moderate on the ticket. Has to, for demographic reasons. Okay. And then you could say Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, another smart guy, has done a pretty good job there, but Shapiro and Kamala don't see eye to eye on Israel. That'd be a problem. Shapiro is an Orthodox Jew. You could say Mark Kelly from Arizona, the senator, former astronaut, but Kelly is not a good campaigner. He's flat, he's boring. Whereas Beshear is a good campaigner, will appeal to women voters. So that's my vote. Not my vote, but that's my thought about the VP is. Not going to be any open convention. They go to Chicago. There's going to be anarchists all over the place. Be a coronation. Press will say that Kamala's the greatest person since Abraham Lincoln. You know the deal. Everything is expensive these days. You know that. The government is printing trillions of dollars and consumer prices higher than ever. If the government continues its printing and spending, the dollar could continue its free fall and lose its coveted role as the world reserve currency. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But there are a few things you can do right now. American Hartford Gold can show you how to protect your money, your retirement, your hard-earned savings against inflation by helping you diversify a portion of your portfolio into physical gold and silver. Start with a short phone call, and they can have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your 401k or IRA. So please call or text them right now. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you. Call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Again, that's 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Okay, let's go to the mail. We got Jim Young, Castle Rock, Washington. You and I don't always agree, O'Reilly, but damn, you nailed it on Biden's departure. Good thing I watch your show. It is a good thing. It is a good thing. If you want honest news and stay ahead of the curve, it's a good thing you watch the No Spin News. Garen Walter, Woodland, California. I just want to thank you for making me look like a savant. When I saw people telling people months ago that Joe Biden was going to drop out of the race, they looked at me like I was crazy. But now I'm an oracle. There you go. You guys feel free to steal anything I say. You can and use it for your own purposes. You have my permission. Carla, you have to wonder whose idea it was to debate Trump in June. Seems like there's a Brutus on Team Biden. It was Biden's decision. Biden and Jill thought he could get through it based on, the State of the Union and this and that. Edward, concierge member Edward, has direct access to me. That will enhance your life. Become a concierge member. You'll save money because we give you big discounts on everything. And you get in trouble, I'll help you. So Edward says, to all deniers and haters, can't wait to watch the Trump-Harris debate. Thank you, Bill, for keeping us rooted in logic and rational thinking. That debate will be historic, no doubt about it. Trump better bring his discipline. Maureen, good afternoon, Mr. O. You're right on about Biden. Now, could you pass on the winning lottery numbers? I'm not an oracle. I just know what's going on better than pretty much anyone else, he says humbly. Gary Balsamo, Charlotte, North Carolina. In order to add credibility to Kamala's campaign, smart would be to get her installed as president now or soon. Can't get her installed in anything. Biden's not going to go out that way. He's not going to do it. David Townsend, Chino, California. I've been reading all the killing books, one a week. Thank you. That's very nice of you, Dave. I love them. I'm learning so much. I appreciate your love of history. You know, those killing books, that if you're going to read this summer, pick up them. Paul Valentin, San Diego, California. Great stuff with Mr. Stewart. Let's call him John Stewart. I don't know about the Mr. title. Amazing we have forgotten how it used to be. I'm glad I can remind everybody. Okay, look, the 4 mugs. Now the Cup of No Joe mug, that becomes an enormous collector's item if you bought it. That's going to be worth money. These are our 4 campaign mugs. Not woke, Cup of No Joe, stand up for your country, and Team Normal. This is history now in the mug form. So we're almost out of Cup of No Joe. You got to get it because that's the excuse. Whoa. And not woke? Whoa. As I mentioned, my book will be out September 10th, the night of the debate. Okay, Confronting the President. It's already, we're up to about 50,000 pre-sale, which is enormous. And we hope you pre-order, you get it first. Word today, try to be perspicacious. Positive word, because who was perspicacious in the Biden stuff? Who? Perspicacious, Perspicacious. Perspicacious. You want to be that. Back with the final thought in a moment. We're all getting the sense that we're being lied to, and that's because we are. Trust your gut. Get started now at my website, preparelikebill.com. Load up on a 3-month emergency food kit. And these kits from My Patriot Supply are packed with ready hour foods in the toughest packaging around. With more than 3 million families served, My Patriot Supply will help yours too. These kits provide more than 2,000 calories every day, last up to 25 years in storage, and you can save $200 per kit. So please visit preparelikebill.com to get as many kits as you think you need from My Patriot Supply. They ship very quickly, it's free, arrive in unmarked boxes. Orders made by 3 p.m. will ship out the same day. Again, save $200 per kit at preparelikebill.com. You work hard to support yourself and your family, but it may seem like you never take that next financial step forward. If the bills are higher than what you bring in, a credit card might be what's making up the difference for you. The problem is the debt keeps on growing. Well, if you own a home, my friends at American Financing can help you break that cycle. American Financing saves people like you an average of $854 a month. Even better, it costs nothing to find out how much you can save. And if you call American Financing today, you might be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. So start your journey towards being credit card debt-free. Please call 888-462-9557, 888-462-9557, or visit AmericanFinancing.net. All right, here is the final thought of the day. I am so glad I was right about President Biden's not running again for 2 reasons. Number one, he can't govern. I love my country. I like the people who oppose me, most of them. Some of them are haters. I don't like the haters, okay? And you're on my list. But I like America. I like my fellow citizens. And I don't want a bad government. And Joe Biden could not run the government. And he did a horrible job. Second worst president, as we will prove in confronting the presidents. Second worst of all time. So I'm glad he's out. I'm glad I was right about the prediction. But the main thing is, oh, O'Reilly's always right, or O'Reilly's always smart, all right. No. I want to beat those bastards, and I'm sorry about the language, in the corporate media on television. I want to beat them. We're already doing it. We're already beating the lessers. Now we're gunning for the big boys, and we're not far behind. Massive amount of people now watching the No Spin News, checking out BillO'Reilly.com, reading our page on YouTube, signing up for my tweets at Bill O'Reilly. Millions and millions all over the world. As I mentioned, the Jon Stewart O'Reilly podcast, #1 on Apple. I don't even know what that is, but my son was jumping up and down, going, "I am #1 on Apple." I said, what does that mean? Is that everything to do with Adam and Eve, Apple? I don't know. But our reach, and we're gunning for these corporate media because they're corrupt. They are misleading you on purpose. We will never do that here. That's why that whole Biden fiasco that I was the first national commentator to call it was so important. Thank you very much for watching and listening to the No Spin News. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.